Hello students, so welcome to the new lecture and good afternoon to everyone and welcome to the new lecture, and in this lecture we are going to discuss about the lymphatic system. Okay, in the previous lecture what we have discussed about different topics like we have discussed about the cardiac cycle, we have discussed about different topics. Okay, so all these things we have discussed about the sound generated by closing the valves like tricuspid valve or bicuspid valve, etc. Okay, now here we are going to discuss about the lymphatic system. What is lymph? Okay, how it is going to mix again to the main circulatory system and etc. These are going to discuss. Okay, so lymphatic system. Our topic is lymphatic system. Okay, so here the lymph is nothing but it is a fluid-like substance. What is lymph? Lymph is nothing but the fluid-like substance that is known as lymph. This lymph is a fluid-like substance and without any particles. So this fluid that is present in the system is known as lymphatic system, and this lymphatic system is parallel. Okay, what is parallel? So this is parallel, this is perpendicular. Okay, it means this is parallel to the arterial system. Okay, what is mean by arterial system? Arterial or venous system. Okay, so means these are the blood vessels. Let us consider this is the venous. Okay, this is the veins. Okay, so the system, the blood vessels or the veins, these blood vessels all together they are known as venous system. Okay, it means it is parallel. This is venous system. This is venous system, and this is lymphatic system. Okay, so this lymphatic system and also venous system both are parallel to each other, and this is going to collect, this lymphatic system is going to collect the tissue fluid from the tissue and transports again back into the venous system. So let us consider these are the tissues. In the tissues there is some kind of a fluid, and this fluid is taken into the lymphatic system, and this lymphatic system is going to mix this fluid again back into the venous system. Okay, so that is known as lymphatic system. So first we'll discuss, before discussing the lymphatic system topic, we have to discuss about some topics, some main terms like lymph, serum and also tissue fluid. So what is meant by lymph? Lymph is nothing but a fluid-like substance that contains blood without solid particles. So that is known as lymph. Let us consider this blood. Okay, in the beaker there is a blood. If you remove the cells, if you remove the blood cells, if you remove all kind of solid particles, then the fluid which is coming after removal of these things are known as lymph. It is light yellowish in color. Okay, it is light yellowish in color that is present. Okay, and by the way, if you have any doubts or questions, feel free to post in the comment section, and we will try to answer those questions. Okay, so this is lymph. And the serum. Serum means the liquid portion formed after the blood clotting. So let us consider this is blood, okay, which is kept in the beaker, and above in the beaker, after some time the blood will clot. Okay, the blood will turn into solid, semi-solid form, and on the top there is a fluid-like substance, a small water-like fluid-like substance is present. This water fluid-like substance which is formed above the blood clotting, that is known as serum. Okay, that is known as serum. So next is tissue fluid. The lymph that is present in the tissues is known as tissue fluid. So the tissues like muscle tissue, okay, and also the skin tissue, etc., they are going to have some kind of a fluid. That fluid is known as tissue fluid. So during the blood circulation, some amount of fluid from the blood comes out, and that blood enters into the blood capillaries into the tissue. Okay, let us consider this is the artery. Okay, so arteries will divide into veins. Okay, arteries will divide into blood capillaries, and this blood capillaries again divide into vein. In this diagram you can see clearly. So this is the artery. So the artery is divided into fine hair-like blood vessels. They are known as blood capillaries, and these blood capillaries are going to join into a main blood vessel that is known as a vein. So artery, vein, between the artery and vein there are blood capillaries. These blood capillaries are going to establish a connection between the arteries and veins. So from the blood capillary, you will see some amount of water. Okay, some amount of fluid, or you can say the water-like substance is going to come out. Okay, So that is known as tissue fluid. This fluid enters into the tissues. That fluid is known as tissue fluid. Okay. So again, remember, it has to go back again into the main circulatory system. Okay. So here, the remaining fluid known as lymph. This remaining fluid is known as lymph, and which is carried through separate system. Whatever the fluid which is coming over into the tissues, okay, this is known as tissue fluid, and this fluid again they will get collected, and they will travel into a separate system. This separate system is known as lymphatic system. Okay, this is known as lymphatic system. Okay, and this is about it. If you have any doubts up to now, if you have any doubts, you can ask me now. Okay, so this is about lymphatic system. So this lymphatic system, whatever it is formed by collecting the fluid from the tissue fluid, again they are going to join. Okay, again they are going to join into main venous system. They are going to join again into the main venous system. Okay, so this is the reason. This is only the reason we are calling the venous system and the lymphatic system is parallel to each other. Okay, so it means some amount of fluid is coming out. Some amount of fluid is coming from the blood into the tissues. That fluid is known as tissue fluid. The tissue fluid again get collected into the lymphatic system, and this lymphatic system again makes the lymph to join into the main venous system. So from here, this venous system, we know that it is going to go to the heart. Okay, it is going to enter into the heart. So this cycle repeats and repeats and again. Okay, so in Latin, the lymph means water. Okay, in Latin, the lymph means water, which is carried through separate system. That system is known as lymphatic system. Okay, that system is known as lymphatic system, and this lymph is vital link between the blood and tissue, by which essential components or substance from the blood to the cells and also excrete products from the cells. It means whatever the tissue fluid is there, it is mainly involved in the excretion. Okay, excretion of some waste products, and also it is going to involve in the supply of essential substances from the blood to the cells. So here, how the lymph will be transported again into the venous system? That is the main question. Here you see there is a contraction. There is a contraction of the muscles. When the muscles are being contracted, what will happen? Some amount of pressure is applied on the lymphatic vessels. When some amount of pressure is applied by the muscles on the lymphatic system, the lymph in that there is a creation of some amount of pressure that makes the lymph move into the towards lymphatic vessels, and again from the lymphatic vessels into the vein, that is towards the heart. So here, see here, the valves are present in the lymphatic vessels and also veins. Okay, not only in the veins, but also we can see the valves in the lymphatic system. Okay, or lymphatic vessels. Why the valves are required in the lymphatic vessels? The reason is there is no pressure. There is no much pressure in the lymphatic vessels. If there is no much pressure in the lymphatic vessels, what will be? There will be no proper supply. So to make the proper supply of lymph through the lymphatic vessels, the valves are necessary. So let us consider this the lymph. Okay, lymphatic vessel. The valves are present in this way. Okay, so they make the flow of lymph in the one direction only. Okay, in forward direction, but not in the opposite direction. If the lymph tries to move in the opposite direction, the valve which is present in the lymphatic system gets blocked. Okay, as a result, the lymph cannot move in the backward direction. Okay, this is the main important thing. So this is about it, and the next is the question in the textbooks. So why do our legs swell? Okay, so while you are traveling, in the bus or in the train, if you sit for a longer period of time, so there will be some kind of a swelling. Not in everyone's body. In some people, the swelling of legs will take place. Why? The reason is swelling is due to edema. Edema is nothing but a feeling of a fluid-like substance inside the legs or in the hands. That is known as edema. Okay. What about the remaining tissue fluid? The remaining tissue fluid is carried away by the lymphatic system. Okay. So next is the evolution of transport system. What is meant by evolution? Evolution means the changes. Evolution means changes. So some changes are being occurring in the organisms. In the circulatory system, the evolution is being taken place. So evolution of transport system is seen from the unicellular to multicellular organisms. Let us consider this is amoeba. Okay, from amoeba to human beings. Okay, from amoeba to human beings, this circulatory system has huge amount of evolution. There is many changes from single organism to multicellular organism. So what are they? That is from simple diffusion to specialized organs. From simple diffusion to specialized organs, this is the evolution. So lot of changes, a lot of evolution. So they based upon the organism, based upon the complexity of the organism, these are evolved. Okay, this such kind of evolution of transport system is seen. Okay, so example, the different types of transportation system in the organisms includes Brownian movement. Okay, one of the type is Brownian movement. Next, protoplasmic currents, water currents, gastrovascular cavity, branch digestive system, pseudocoelom, pulsatile vessels, and also pulsatile organs. These all are the different types of evolution in the circulatory system. Okay, first one is the Brownian movement. Brownian movement means it is a natural movement. It is causing the movement of substances. Okay, or exchanging of the nutrients, gases through the cell. Okay, distribution through the protoplasm. So what is protoplasm? The fluid which is present inside the cell. The fluid which is present inside the cell is known as protoplasm. There you can see there is natural movement. Naturally the fluid is being moved from one cell position to another cell position, and during the such kind of change, during the such kind of movement of this fluid or protoplasm, there you can see exchanging of the nutrients. It means the gas oxygen which is present over here is being moved to the at the bottom lower side of the cell. Okay, it means there is a exchanging of the gases. At the same time, there will be exchanging of the food, whether it may be glucose or any other food material. There will be exchange. Okay, so such kind of a movement is known as a Brownian movement. Okay, so example in amoeba. In amoeba, you can see such kind of a Brownian movement. Okay, Brownian movement means so the protoplasm is making the exchanging of the gases and also nutrients. Okay, next is protoplasm. Okay, protoplasmic current. Till now we have discussed about the Brownian movement. Here the protoplasm is going to make it. Okay, now here the protoplasmic current means intracellular transport system. Intracellular means inside. Intra means what? Inside the cell. Inter means between. Here inside the cell, there is a transportation system. So example, from this position to this position, or this position to this position, and so on. So such kind of transportation from one point of cell to another point of cell, that is known as protoplasmic currents. It can be seen in the multicellular organisms also. Okay, can be seen in the multicellular organisms, especially in human beings. In the nerve system, such kind of protoplasmic current will be seen. Okay, example, humans and also other animals. They have the nerve cells. In the nerve cells, you will see such kind of protoplasmic currents. Current is nothing but movement. Okay, protoplasm means the fluid which is present inside the cell. Okay, current means what? Current means movement. Here the protoplasm is moving inside the cell. It is known as a protoplasmic currents. Okay. So next is a water current. Water current is nothing but, so water, the movement of water is known as water currents. So here the multicellular organisms are going to create their own water currents. Example, if you see the parazoans, sponges, etc., they are going to create their own water current. It means, let us consider this is the organism. They have some kind of organs like flagella or some kind of organs. So what they are going to do? They are going to beat their organs. Okay, it means flagella or some other thing. So by beating flagella, what is happening? The water which is present over here, they are going to move downwards. Okay, they are going to move downwards. It means here you can see the movement of water. Movement of water is nothing but water currents. So such kind of water current is seen in these organisms. It means they are creating their own water currents by beating their flagella. Okay, by beating their flagella or other body organs. Okay, So this is about water currents. So by this way, what will happen? The exchanging of the gases will take place. Exchanging of the gases will take place with water currents. Okay. So next one will be the gastrovascular cavity. Gastro means what? Gastro means inside the intestine. So vascular cavity, it is nothing but the digestive system is helping in the transportation of nutrients. Here the digestive system is helping in the transportation of nutrients, gases and other excreted products. Okay, and each and every cell of the body, okay, done by these things. So example, if you see the hydra, jellyfish, so they are going to have a gastrovascular cavity. It means the digestive system is going to do the function of transportation, exchanging of the nutrients, exchanging of the gases, etc. Okay, this is about gastrovascular cavity. It is also in the blind sac-like structure. Okay, it is looking like a sac. It is looking like a sac-like structure. Okay. So next is the branched digestive system. Okay, what is branched digestive system? So branched digestive means highly branched. The digestive system is very branched, and due to the presence of a branching, what will happen? The surface area is increasing. Let us consider this is a small surface. So if you make irregularities, okay, what is happening over here? It is the branches are increasing, and also when the branches are increases, what happens? Surface area is going to increase. So the same principle is applied over here, the branched digestive system. In the branched digestive system, they are going to have the larger surface area. During the time, the supply of nutrients and also collecting of the waste materials will be more easier. As a result, so most of the body part, most of the digestive system of these organisms are occupied by the branched digestive system. Example, if you see the Fasciola hepatica, in these organisms you will see the branched digestive system. Okay. And good afternoon everyone, and if you have any doubts or questions, feel free to post in the comment section. That is nothing but in the live chat section, and we will answer to your questions. Okay. So next one will be the pseudocoelom. Pseudo means what? False. Okay, coelom means a cavity. So they are going to have the false cavity, and this cavity is filled with fluid. Okay, fluid of the body. Okay, so the fluid is filled inside the pseudocoelom, and it is taking up the functions of collecting and also distribution of the materials. So that is in the organisms like Nema helminthes. Okay, in the Nema helminthes you can see the pseudocoelom. Okay, so next is the pulsatile vessels. Pulsatile means what? Pulsatile means there is some kind of organ that is pumping the fluid. Okay, that is known as pulsatile organs or pulsatile vessels. Here the pulsatile vessels means what? Pulsatile vessels means they are a tube. Okay, they are a tubes. These tubes are involved in the pumping. Okay, pumping the a fluid. Okay, that is known as pulsatile. So what kind of fluid? That is nothing but a blood. Here the blood is a transporting medium. Okay, this transporting medium is transported through the vessels. Okay, that is blood vessels. Blood vessels are nothing but they are a tube-like structures that are involved. Okay, so this such kind of pulsatile vessels are seen in the eucoelomates. Okay, eucoelomate, you can see in the eucoelomates you can see the pulsatile vessels. Okay, next one will be the pulsatile organs. Pulsatile organs means, so there is a specialized organ. The specialized organ is example heart. Heart is a specialized organ. It is going to pump blood through the blood vessels. It is going to pump blood through the blood vessels, and as a result, this organ is going to help in the transportation of different substances like nutrients, okay, gases, excretory waste materials, etc. So this is the about pulsatile organs. Next, the open circulatory system. Open circulatory system means, so the heart or any pumping organ is directly pumping blood into the tissue. Okay, directly into the tissue. Let us consider this is the heart. Okay, so this is the heart. Heart is pumping blood or any fluid directly into the tissue spaces. Directly into the tissue spaces. Such kind of pumping of blood or any fluid by the pumping organ directly into the tissues, okay, without any blood vessels, that is known as open circulatory system. Here, remember one thing, in the open circulatory system, you don't find any blood vessels, no vessels, okay, no blood vessels can be seen. So hence, this is the reason we are calling it as open circulatory system, okay. So opposite to the open circulatory system is closed circulatory system, okay. Closed circulatory system means the flow of blood in the blood vessels, okay, transportation of nutrients and etc. All these in the blood vessels, okay. So heart is there, okay, heart is going to pump blood in the blood vessels, okay, in the blood vessels. So if heart is pumping the blood through blood vessels, okay, such kind of transportation is known as closed circulatory system. Closed circulatory system, why? Because the blood is transported in the blood vessels, okay. That is the reason we are going to call it as a closed circulatory system, okay. So example, annelids, echinodermids, chordates, even human beings also comes under the closed circulatory system, okay. So here the human circulatory system can move 1 ml of blood from the heart to foot and back within 60 seconds, okay. It means very fast. So if there is no such kind of transportation system, to make the same thing to happen, we need 60 years. We need 60 years to move such kind of distance without any transportation system, okay. So through the diffusion, with the help of only diffusion, transportation is highly impossible in the multicellular organisms, okay. So this is about transportation. Now we will see about the blood pressure, okay. We can call it as a BP. BP means blood pressure. So here the blood pressure is nothing but amount of force applied on the blood vessels, that is known as blood pressure. So here the blood on the blood by the ventricles when contracted. Let us consider, we will draw the rough diagram of the heart. So this is the heart, these are the 4 chambers. So what is happening here? The ventricles, okay, the ventricles are going to apply pressure on the blood vessels, especially the left ventricle. When the left ventricle is contracting, so there is a pumping of blood through the main blood vessel, that is known as systemic aorta. Through the systemic aorta, the blood is going to flow. That blood is being pumped by the left ventricle, okay. So this is hence we can see the systemic aorta is going to divide into many branches. These branches are known as arteries. In the arteries, you will see certain blood pressure, okay. How the blood pressure is maintained here? This blood pressure is maintained because of left ventricle contracted. When the left ventricle contracts, the blood will flow, and the blood is going to exert some amount of pressure on the arteries, okay, on the arteries. So hence we have to measure this blood pressure. If you want to measure this blood pressure, we need a device. The device is known as sphygmanometer. Sphygmanometer is the device that will be used to measure the blood pressure, okay. So the blood pressure varies from the body to that varies throughout the body, means in different organs like legs, hands, and so on. The blood pressure may vary, okay. All the time the blood pressure may vary, okay. So hence we need standard organ for the measuring blood pressure. So that standard place will be the upper arm, okay. Above the elbow there is the upper arm. You can use that region of the body to measure the blood pressure, to measure the BP or blood pressure. So we are using the sphygmanometer to apply or to measure the blood pressure on the upper arm, okay. So there are 2 pressure readings in the sphygmanometer. So one is the systolic pressure and also one is the diastolic pressure. Remember one thing, systole, okay. Systole is nothing but contraction. Systole is nothing but contraction. So diastole, okay. Diastole means relaxation, okay. What is systole? Systole means contraction. Diastole means relaxation. Here what we are saying, the ventricular systole, okay. Ventricular systole means what? Ventricles are contracting. Ventricular systole means ventricles are contracting. So ventricular diastole means ventricles are relaxing, okay. So here the systolic pressure means How much amount of pressure is exerted on the arteries when the systolic pressure is applied? When the systole means when the ventricles are contracted. So when the ventricles of the heart is contracted, there will be a generation of 120 mm, 120 mm of the Hg in the blood vessels, that is in the artery. Okay, so this much will be applied, this much will be the pressure. Okay, and here 120 is the systolic pressure, and after contraction there will be relaxation. What will be the relaxation pressure? That is diastolic pressure. What will be 120 means? Diastolic means will be the 80. So 80 mm of the Hg. Okay, hence we can say normal BP of a person, of a healthy person, will be around 120 mm of the Hg, 120 by 80 mm of Hg. Here Hg means hydrogen. So hydrogen is nothing but a mercury. We are measuring in terms of the mercury. Okay. So systolic pressure means the strongest pressure applied by the ventricles on the blood vessels to pump blood out of the heart. That is known as systolic pressure. Okay. Diastole means the decreased blood pressure in the blood. As a result, the pressure is decreasing when the chambers of the heart, like ventricles, are relaxing. The blood pressure in the blood vessels also decreases. So when the blood pressure decreases, how much they are getting, how much extent they are being decreased? That is nothing but 80 mm of the Hg. Hence it is nothing but 120 by 80, okay, mm of the Hg. Okay. And if you have any doubts or questions, feel free to post in the comment section. You may ask the questions now or doubts. Okay. So we will move back to the next topic, that is hypertension. So what is hypertension? Hypertension is the force, okay, the force applied by the ventricles on the blood, and blood vessels is 2, okay, on the blood vessels 2. The greater than the normal pressure is known as hypertension. Hyper means above, okay, hypertension. So what is meant by hypertension? Hypertension means more pressure. So more than the normal blood pressure, that is known as the hypertension, 120 by 80. Okay, 120 by 80, if this value is more than, if the normal blood pressure, this is the normal blood pressure, 120 by 80 is the normal blood pressure. If the blood pressure is more than the 120 by 80, it is known as hypertension, or you can call it as a high BP. So what will be the hypotension? Hypo means lower, okay. Hypotension means lower. The force applied by the ventricles, okay, on the blood and the vessels is lower than the normal pressure. Means if the pressure is lower than the 120 by 80, that is hypotension. Okay, so this is only the difference. And I hope this lecture is helpful to you. If you have any doubts or questions, so feel free to ask. Feel free to ask in the comment section or in the live chat section. Okay, and we will discuss the